It's a paper heart that beats. What? Today I'm doing a review of The Paper Magician by Charlie N. Holmberg, and I really enjoyed this book, and I thought this was a great book to try out since it was about magicians that went to school. And this book, for a quick summary, is about the main character, Sienny, who goes to Tages Praff School for the Magically Inclined and ends up getting assigned to a magic that she does not so much want. In this book series, the magicians have magic coming from man-made materials, and obviously this one is about magicians using paper for their magic, and Sienny does not really enjoy using paper as her magic material. She wanted to be a smelter, which is somebody that used metal for their magic abilities. Sienny ends up becoming a folder, which is the name for what they call for the paper magicians. She ends up becoming an apprentice for Magician Thane, even though she graduated top of her class and she thought that she would be able to choose something, but she did not get to. The book really starts off by going into the backstory of Sienny and building that relationship between Sienny and Magician Thane, and how Sienny then grows to actually somewhat like paper magic. And then everything gets ripped away by Lyra, who is a dark magician who uses blood and guts and flesh as her objects to enchant for magical purposes, and ends up taking something from Magician Thane. And then the rest of the book is about Sienny and how she tries to find this thing that Lyra had taken from Magician Thane in order to save his life. One of the things that I loved about this book was that I really grew to love Sienny and her character. I felt like Sienny was somebody that I knew. She's somebody that just lived right next door, and this was just a no big deal thing that people went to magic school. One thing that I loved was that magicians are not in hiding. People actually know about magicians, and they know that they do magic. And I thought that was really cool, that they're not some underground society that nobody knows about. This book was based in London, or near London, around, I'd say, between 1880 to early 1920s. That's kind of the big time frame, including all the flashbacks and everything like that. Another thing that I loved about this book about Sienny was that she did not let the fact that she had a weak magic using paper, which can be easily destroyed or broken instantly, no matter, if it gets wet or you just rip it, it's easily damaged. One thing I noticed that I really loved was that Sienny did not let that stop her from stopping the dark forces from Lyra. And she went on saying that she's not going to be the mouse. She's not going to be the victim, which I thought was really cool. Made her that much stronger of a character, and I really felt like you could connect with her. One of the things that I did not like was that it did sort of end abruptly in the beginning. So we were hearing all about Sienny's life and learning about how this whole magical world, but then it ends abruptly. And I felt like I wanted more of the world rather than ending that so soon. There's definitely a lot of tension in the parts where Sienny is trying to get the object that was stolen from Magician Thane, and I really loved that, the whole time you're kind of gripping the book and you're thinking, oh gosh, is she gonna get it? Is it almost over yet? So I'm glad that it was kind of thin in that respect, because I think if it was dragged on a little bit more in that area, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. So the author did do a really good job of making sure that the plot was resolved quickly, but at the same time, I wish there was more of a backstory before the actual climax began and then fell. Also, at the end, it does make you want more. It gets you excited about reading the next book, which is The Glass Magician. because it does leave a bit to think about, like what happened to Lyra in the end. Also, I think one of the things that I was confused about was the relationship between Sienna and Magician Thane. In the end, she confesses his love to him, but not really to him. But I think he knows, and she thinks he knows, so he probably knows. That question wasn't really answered as well as I would have liked. It definitely leads more to be wondered about for the next novel, which is The Glass Magician, which I will be reading next. I'm pretty excited about this one because I want to know what happens. I want to know what happened to Lyra, and I want to know what's going to happen to Sienna and Magician Thane. Even though she does do some fortune telling, because you remember those little things when you were a kid and you had those fortune tellers that you like opened up like that? That's what I would imagined she did when she did a paper fortune box, fortuity box, I think that's what it was called. But you do get a glimpse to see what Magician Thane's fortune is. I thought this was a really good book. I would definitely suggest anyone to read it. I thought the length of this book was just perfect. I do wish there was a little bit more of a backstory for Sienna, but I'm still happy with the way that it played out. I think also the action in the book definitely did not drag on, which sometimes I feel like some novels definitely do drag it on because they do way too many flashbacks. These had just the right amount of flashbacks, and coincidentally, the flashbacks actually are a part of the actual action. So if you can imagine that in some sort of way, you'll have to read to find that out. But I thought that was really cool. The whole storyline was really cool. I could see this as being a movie, and it's definitely a movie that I would want to watch. For any magic or fantasy lovers, I would definitely suggest this book. It is a quick read. It is wonderful. It just made me not want to put it down. I think I read this in maybe 3 or 4 days, given I'm also working full-time and a student full-time, so that's why I didn't finish it quicker. But if you're looking for something magical with action, but it's a quick read and you want to be able to get through the series quickly, then this is definitely a book for you. The next book I will be reading is The Glass Magician, which is the second book, and it just came out on November 4th, I believe. So this will be the next book that I am reading, and I'm really excited about it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and click down below to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching!